NFL.com released their teams that are most improved heading into the 2025 season. And among that list is the Chicago Bears, the New York Jets, and the Las Vegas Raiders, along with four other teams. Y'all know we gonna talk about it and break it all down right after this.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. So if you're tuned in, you're locked in, and you're ready to talk some football, hit that like button and subscribe. Now, NFL.com released 7 teams that they believe are the most improved heading into the 2025 season. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bears, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the New York Jets. But also on that list is the New England Patriots, which is definitely one of those teams that's most improved heading into 2025. The Minnesota Vikings, the Washington Commanders, and the Arizona Cardinals. But I want to dive into those 3 teams that I previously mentioned ahead of all the other ones. The Chicago Bears, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the New York Jets. Let's kick this thing off, start talking about the New York Jets. The New York Jets, the last 2 seasons, they hitched their wagon on to Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, and a bunch of nonsense. Let's just call it for what we see it. It's exactly what it was. Now, Aaron Rodgers in that first season with the New York Jets, high expectations. He got hurt in 4 plays in the first game of the season. Look, his body, it was a reaction that his body had, and it put him out for the rest of the season. But let's call it what it was for exactly what it was last season. After that year prior in Aaron Rodgers' first season, there was a lot of expectations that the New York Jets was going to come out there and make some noise within the AFC East. And then you had some talking heads even saying that they can contend for a playoff spot, and I was not a believer. I ain't even going to lie to you. But I was interested to see Aaron Rodgers work with a Garrett Wilson. I was interested to see how Robert Saleh get that defense humming, because I seen the defense be, be respectable with the likes of Zach Wilson back there, and he just couldn't get it done. But this offseason, I believe the New York Jets made a major move. Not even going to lie to you. I think that the New York Jets that set off their offseason the best way that you can hope for the New York Jets. This is a team that has been dumpster juice, basura, baño, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want, trash, whatever you want to throw out there. That's how they've been for a very, very long time. They could very well still be a losing team, but the way that they addressed themselves and picked themselves up and held themselves to a standard, I'm very, very impressed. When you talk about the New York Jets, they approached Aaron Rodgers. He came in, sat his ass down next to Aaron Glenn. Look, man, you want to play? Oh, no, I still need to think about it. Well, we don't need to think about it. We're done with you. Number one, that's a big move for them. Then they go out there and they say, all right, who's out there on the market that can go out there and give us an opportunity to win games and evaluate some talent? They go and get a young quarterback in Justin Fields. Y'all see the Chicago banner over there. I know all about Justin Fields. The end of Justin Fields' tenure with the Chicago Bears had the whole damn city. We want Fields. We want Fields. But ultimately, the Chicago Bears elected to do other things. He ended up in Pittsburgh, started off the season last year, 4-2 record. And honestly, this Pittsburgh Steelers completely botched any opportunity to try to retain Justin Fields and see what the kid was really made of. Once Russell Wilson fizzled out at the end of the season, he wasn't really giving you nothing. You had Justin Fields for the cheap. You should have gave him a couple games leading into the playoffs to see what this young kid could do and if he could stick around for the foreseeable future. In the Pittsburgh Steelers, they absolutely blew it. So then you look at the New York Jets, and they go out there and they pick up a defensive lineman in Derek Nandi. Then they go out there and pick up a safety in Andre Cisco. Then in the draft, they go out there and give Justin Fields what he never got in Chicago. The New York Jets did something smart in this draft and this offseason. They bolstered up the defensive line and they went out there and make sure that the offensive line is going to give Justin Fields something that the Chicago Bears never gave him. And that is an offensive line that can hold a block longer than a second and a half. Now it's all on Justin Fields. And they did that by going ahead and drafting Armand Membow. You know what I'm saying? Then they already got Olu Fashanu that was already over there. And then the interior offensive line for the New York Jets was already solid. Now you got a solid interior with two young offensive tackles. They ready to run on that offense with Garrett Wilson. And then they went out there and got themselves a tight end and Mason Taylor, who I think is going to be a big addition to the New York Jets. So absolutely, the New York Jets are heading into 2025 as an improved team. It's going to be up to that coaching staff to see if they can change that culture. And you might call me crazy. Y'all might call me crazy. But the way the New York Jets handled themselves this offseason, I would have never thought they would have handled themselves during the offseason better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not even gonna lie to you. And that's a discussion for another day. But if you want to go and entertain it or discuss it, we can absolutely discuss how the New York Jets held themselves to a higher standard, more so than the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro, on how they handled the Aaron Rodgers stuff, how they approached the draft, how they failed to go out there and find another young quarterback. I'm not a believer in Will Howard, but again, it's another topic for another day. The next team headed into 2025 is the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, look, laughing stock the last few seasons with Matt Eberflus at the helm, and I don't really need too many things to say about Matt Eberflus for everybody to know. He was a bona fide bozo. You just call it how you see it. We have to call it how we see it. Matt Eberflus, head coach Matt Eberflus for the Chicago Bears, was a bona fide bozo. You seen him not handle the clock right in a damn nationally televised game versus the Detroit Lions, to where the Bears are driving down the field. He can't get his offense right. He won't call timeout. The clock runs out. The Bears lose. The rest is history. Then you talking about the Washington Commanders game that happened a couple weeks prior to that, to where he refused to call timeout after your quarterback just led you down to take the lead. You refuse to go out there and put pressure on a rookie quarterback and say, no, you can pick up however many yards he picked up before he threw the Hail Mary to win the game, and the rest was history. He's a bum. But thank God he's off the team, because the Chicago Bears are moving into 2025 way more improved. They go out there and get the hottest coaching candidate on the market in Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson does a hell of a job by going to get Dennis Allen, a former head coach, to run his defense and provide support. Then he go out there and add Eric Bieniemy onto a staff who was a former offensive coordinator. Now he finna be able to help you with the playbook, but really, really focus on those running backs. The same damn running back coach that went out there and got Adrian Peterson to be the Adrian Peterson we know of today. Then you talk about all the additions on the team, building out the trenches. Finally, the Chicago Bears got their head out the backside and said, let's pay the offensive linemen for once in their life. For once in their life, the Chicago Bears said, we gonna pay some linemen and we gonna pay money on. Y'all know how surprised I was? Very, very surprised. And I know it's a lot of football fans out there that are very, very surprised. Then they went out there and had themselves a good draft, picking up Colston Loveland, who we heard Sean McVay wanted on the Los Angeles Rams. If Sean McVay got somebody on his radar, I'm a believer. Shout out to Ben Johnson and that. Then you get one of the best wide receivers that fell in the draft in Luther Burden. I'm a believer. We're going to go ahead and rock with it. Now it's on Caleb Williams. And if you're not seeing a theme here, these teams is doing certain things for these quarterbacks. Now it's on these quarterbacks. That goes for Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. Yes, it sounds a bit crazy because I root for the damn Chicago Bears and both of them play for the squad. But nonetheless, good job by the organization. Now it's on both quarterbacks to go out there and get it done. Now we talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, look, they are hella improved moving into 2025. Not even going to lie to you. I still feel like they got a lot of holes to fill on that team. But you took a big leap and you said, give me old man Pete. To hell with it. Give me old man Pete. And I'm not mad at it simply because Pete Carroll is going to come out here, play tough defense, and run the ball. We could win some games with that mantra right there. And with a lot of head coaches and a lot of teams that want to be pass happy, it's very, very difficult to go out there and win a bunch of games if you just want to be pass happy and you neglect the trenches, the defense, and the run game. You cannot go out there and have sustained success if you are a neglector of the offensive line and the run game, especially when you're talking about the offense. Pete Carroll comes in, he goes ahead and get a competent and really good quarterback, probably like a B+ quarterback, and Geno Smith, who gonna come out there and do some stuff. You already got Brock Bowers. Then you go out there and you get yourself somebody that's gonna be able to run this offense, run the rock, and Ashton Jeanty, who is the best running back in this year's draft. You draft the wide receiver in Jack Beck. Then you go ahead and add additions to the trenches and Like Fotu, linebackers and safety. You get safeties and cornerbacks. Safety Jeremy Chin, cornerback Eric Stokes to bolster the defense. Really, really good moves by the Las Vegas Raiders. But the problem is the division they playing in. Call it what we get, bro. We got to keep it real. The AFC West is a gauntlet. The AFC West is a gauntlet. Though the Las Vegas Raiders are very well improved, they could very well still end up in fourth in that division. Not even gonna lie to you. Just think about the coaches, ladies and gentlemen. Think about the coaches that are in the AFC West. You talking about Andy Reid with the Kansas City Chiefs. You talking about Jim Harbaugh with the Los Angeles Chargers. You talking about Sean Payton with the Denver Broncos and Pete Carroll with the Las Vegas Raiders. What a tremendous division of coaches. It's crazy. It's crazy. And my man's Patrick Mahomes then had a stranglehold on the division forever. Going on year 8, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Going on year 8, right? Obviously, he got to go ahead and lock up the division. But man, it's probably gonna be Patrick Mahomes' toughest season to lock up the AFC West. Not even gonna lie to you, especially with the additions that the Denver Broncos made on the offensive side of the ball. I believe they just signed J.K. Dobbins. Y'all check me on that. They signed J.K. Dobbins. They pick up guys like Evan Ingram, and then they went out there and bolstered the defensive line, offensive line, got more weapons after the team was already set and ready to roll last season. They get better. Then you look at the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh playing hard-nosed football already. Strong defense. We getting this improved run game. They got them some young running backs now, 2 fresh legs. Ain't no more injured running backs. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins back there. Young legs back there now in L.A. for Justin Herbert. Man, so it goes back into it saying the Las Vegas Raiders are very well improved. Not even gonna hold you. Very well improved. It still ain't enough. Not even gonna hold you. Not even gonna hold you, bro. You got 6 games versus them teams. 6 games versus those teams within your division. And that goes for the same thing for the New York Jets and the Chicago Bears. Now, we talk about the Chicago Bears and NFC North. Look, I know we got to show respect to Detroit, but when Detroit loses a Ben Johnson, a Aaron Glenn, a Pro Bowl lineman, and a Hall of Fame center, big losses to the Detroit Lions. Then when you talk about the Green Bay Packers, still a very talented team with some questions about Jordan Love. But then you look at the Minnesota Vikings, who is listed as one of the most improved teams on this list. You talk about all the additions to the trenches that they made. Biggest questions is if J.J. McCarthy can go do something. My goodness, does Caleb Williams has a tall task in front of him? Does Geno Smith have a tall task in front of him? And then Justin Fields, he has a tall task in front of him because Buffalo had a stranglehold on the AFC East as well. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is the type of competition I love around the NFL and why I simply sit here and pound the desk and say it's the best damn sport in the world. Because you can look around and a team can go from worst to first, or a team can go from first to worst in the blink of an eye, even with stars. And you talk about the New York Jets, you talking about the Buffalo Bills, you talking about the Miami Dolphins, you talking about the New England Patriots, who's also on this list as a most improved team with a number of good coaches within that division as well. So though these teams are most improved heading into 2025, it is not going to be easy for Justin Fields. It will not be easy for Caleb Williams. It will not be easy for Geno Smith. But hey, that's why we love the competition and that's why we love the games. It's either put up or shut the fuck up. Real talk. Who gonna rise up, y'all? Who gonna rise up? Who gonna rise up? That's all I want to know. Who gonna rise up? That's all I want to see. I want to see who gonna be out there, who gonna be able to rise up within their respective divisions, because you got teams in the NFC East like the Philadelphia Eagles looking for number 2. You got the Washington Commanders making improvements, saying we want some more. You got the Atlanta Falcons looking like they trying to make some improvements. I'm not putting them in Super Bowl contention, but it's interesting to see how they take a step forward. You know what I'm saying? You got the Los Angeles Rams adding Devontae Adams, and the defense was young and already good, and they added more pieces and more pieces to the offense. We working that deal out with Matthew Stafford. Then you talk about the AFC. Come on, Lamar Jackson saying he coming out with a vengeance. What y'all gonna do? Joey Burrow, your defense and your team bogus as hell. Y'all ain't about to do nothing. But that's just me entertaining all my love for the NFL, bro, because right now it's just ridiculous. But the most improved teams are right there for you. Now it's up to them to put it all together and see who can come together faster than the others, because there's going to be some tough matchups for all these teams within their respective divisions. Ain't no match, ain't no game you can go out there and take for granted in NFL. You don't got 82 games. You don't got 82 games. You don't got 60 games. There's only 17 games on the docket. Who want them more? Who want it more? We shall see, y'all. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of NFL Central. Before y'all get up out of here, man, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification one time for your boy. Me and Steve are going to keep pumping out this content, and we're going to keep this thing rocking and rolling on that road to 1K. So we say thank y'all, appreciate y'all, and make sure y'all always love football. Peace, y'all.